If I had a penny for every time somebody told me that what they wanted in the cryptocurrency markets was alpha, I would be a zillionaire, let me tell you. But I want to talk about what that actually means, and is that something you should actually want? So often in life, we believe that we want the shortcut, that we want the lottery ticket, that we want the lifestyle of the millionaire, of the billionaire, that we sit and covet in our heart of hearts and wish that we just had that. We want the end result, right? But we don't want the journey. Most people don't want the journey to actually attain those things, to deserve those things. And most people don't want to face the true reality that perhaps what they have around them, what they have filled their life with, is exactly what they deserve. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about alpha because I think that people, and I get it, it's ironic. I put out a report every single day called the Alpha Report. So like mea culpa on like the potential irony here, but I want to talk about the concept of alpha, the way that I am specifically using it, in the sense that when it comes to crypto, there's a lot of alpha out there, right? You know, when is a token going to pump? When are key insiders going to pump? When are key insiders going to dump? You know, there's a word for that in traditional finance. It's called insider trading, and it's illegal. And yet we just get, they're like, oh, it's illegal, like who cares? But people just toss it around in crypto like they just want it. They desire it so much. They just want to be on that email list. They want to be in that Telegram. They want to be at a high enough echelon on that pump and dump so they can just get in, scrape, dump, pop, on to the next. But I want to unveil a sad reality for you about that type of thinking. First off, it's just wishful thinking, right? If you really do want that type of alpha, then you really need to abandon everything that you're doing right now and embark on a multi-year long journey of doing nothing but trying to get into people's DMs, going to conferences, rubbing elbows, providing value, right? So that you actually receive value in return. Making the right connections, all these kind of things. And realistically, for the 99% of us on the bottom of the totem pole, that alpha is never going to come our way. We're never going to get that, you know, that timely Telegram notice, right? From the friend that's like, oh, dude, you got to buy XYZ, dude. It's about to go. And even if you do get that alpha, you then still have to navigate it on your own. You have to make the right moves. You have to choose to dump at a certain time. And often, and I will tell you this, you know, as a content creator, having watched, again, still relatively small content creator, but I've seen so many people like rise and fall and rise and fall and rise and fall in the 7 years that I've been doing this because they compromise their integrity for short-term gain, which disabuses them, which disallows them from participating in future gains. So unfortunately, that alpha is likely never going to come. Nobody's going to spoon feed you a profitable trade. Nobody is going to spoon feed you a winning investment. You have to do that information. You have to find that alpha yourself. And it's absolutely possible to find alpha out there. The cryptocurrency markets are not very efficient. There's arbitrage opportunities every day. And if there's arbitrage opportunities, it means there's information asymmetry. Your job, if you want to find alpha, is not to go find out what's hot and popular right now. That's what you want to trade. If you want to find alpha via investment, you have to go really do your homework. You have to understand the technology. You have to understand what people want, what is likely to be hyped. You have to understand the developers, the founders, the people associated and behind projects. And you have to have foresight to see, okay, this isn't valuable right now. You want to buy when it's cheap, but this will be likely valuable in the future. And then you have to make your bed and you have to lie in it, for good or bad. So invest in what is not hot yet, but will be. But you do want to trade what's hot. You want to trade what's volatile. All of this to say, ladies and gentlemen, do not go through your days in the cryptocurrency markets wishing, begging, hoping that you just had some spoon-fed piece of alpha information. If you want alpha, go out and find it for yourself. Not only is that going to make you a better, faster, stronger, smarter person, but if you put in the work to generate the alpha, you will deserve the reward that follows. There's nothing more poisonous than ill-gotten gain. There's nothing that tastes so bad on your mouth, and I tell you this from experience, than reaping the rewards of that which you do not deserve, that you did not put the work in. I know it seems tantalizing, but you do not want to carry that albatross around with you if you're any sort of decent person, because it will bother you. It will haunt you. And it will make the fruit taste sour. It will make the jokes fall flat. It will drain the joy out of life. Put the time in the trenches. But I do want to analyze this idea, because even if we look to those VCs, insiders, whales, they're not buying and selling randomly. They have a strategy. They have a plan. They trade the plan. They execute faithfully when the odds are in their favor. And so too you should do the same. Spend the time in the trenches building the system, building the strategy. It doesn't matter whether you want to trade high caps perps on leverage. It doesn't matter whether you want to spot buy meme coins. It doesn't matter whether you want to, full portfolio the next AI agent. But anything that you do in the markets, there's a billion ways to make money in this market. But anything that you do needs to have a strategy. You need to be able to define the strategy, refine the strategy, and faithfully execute the strategy. It is the pathway to success, ladies and gentlemen. It is the pathway to profit. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday, January 14th. This is your crypto market update. My name is Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at CrackingCryptocurrency.com. Hopefully, you fine folk are doing absolutely fantastic. I am so sorry that I missed yesterday. I was still in a bit of recovery. That's no excuse. We're here. We're back. I know we're late too. I don't think you guys understand how long it takes on days when it snows, and it snowed only 1 inch last night, but I do take it upon myself to shovel like my entire neighborhood. They're all older folk. It's hard for them to get out and shovel. I do it, but it takes like an hour and a half. So I'm a little bit behind today, guys. I apologize. Today's Alpha Report is available on the website. Few programming notes before we begin. Dive right into it, ladies and gentlemen, with some live trading analysis and technicals. We do the show Monday through Friday, generally from noon to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 1 to 3 p.m. on the Eastern Seaboard. You can watch us on YouTube, Rumble, and X. We do encourage you to support what we're doing for absolutely free by liking, subscribing, and sharing this around to your friends, your family, even people you don't like that much. Share some wisdom, share some alpha, as it were. You can comment down below what you would like to see in tomorrow's video, as well as any hot stock tips, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, and or death threats. You may leave those down below. The first link in the description is going to be the link to our daily alpha report that we syndicate via email. Subscribe to get data-driven research to keep you armed and dangerous in your inbox every single day. Monday through Friday, that is. Other links down there. ByDFi Exchange, centralized exchange partner of Cracking Cryptocurrency. Go check out the VIP level 1 fee advantage account you'll get for signing up with the link in the description. Trade over 600 pairs, demo trading, all of the good things. Copy trading. I will be copy trading here soon. Still working on setting it up. And then, yeah, links to everything you possibly need down in the description. Follow us on the socials, all of the above. We've got a great show for you guys today. We are, of course, going to be covering today. Bitcoin has, of course, rallied off of the bottoms at 90,000. Big, scary fake out candle last evening. I apologize that I was not here to guide you, but overall, everything that I've been saying for the last week has come true. I was broadly expecting prices to pump. We have been very choppy, but that's okay. I put out on Friday's report, I said, long positions should be taken, but you need to structure your long position such that you can survive a wick to 88,000. That's exactly what I wrote. You can go read it. It's on the website. And I was right. So I'm not here to toot my own horn. I am here to help you make money and hopefully make some money for myself. We do, of course, have a long position running on ByDFi right now. We're going to go check in on that. Let me just make sure I'm logged in before I switch over here. All right. We're up about a little bit. All right. Oh, you know what? Really? This is how we're doing things? This is how we're starting off the stream. Like this, huh? Is there no decency left in the world? I swear to God. All right. Checking in with the early chatters. I see RLBRM over on Rumble. Good to see you, my friend Timmy, and Ron Legato, the man, the myth, the legend, the mod, the wrench, over on YouTube. Happy to have you guys here. Apologies, it is a little bit late. Yes, we are, of course, running along. We've been holding this long for almost a week, I feel like. Yeah. We're on this long for almost a week. Just a little $15,000 position. Hopefully, we are going to get up to $100,000 with today's position. Bo, B, Flow, and Profit Bear piling in. All right. Once I start shouting out the chatters, then people want to chat. Okay, I see how it is. I digress. Starting off with some macro analysis, ladies and gentlemen, as we are wont to do. Bitcoin on the weekly, as far as its cycle goes, we are only 50% of the way through the cycle. All right, this is exactly what we experienced. Let's talk about the fundamentals. This is exactly what we experienced back in March when we reached the local high and then went into the summer doldrums, consolidating down sideways. That is my base case for what we are likely to experience moving forward. However, confidence level is approximately 50%. And I'll tell you why. There are so many potential catalysts coming up, and mostly coming into the end of this month. My base case is still that we really don't experience up only until March to May of 2025. The reason why is because we got a hawkish pivot from the Fed. That is exactly what we got in the March FOMC that kicked off the summer doldrums, and we just got it again. The market does not like uncertainty, and what the Fed has introduced is uncertainty. And despite the idea of how powerful Trump is going to be, all of these expectations piled around Trump, I do believe it is just far more realistic that the Fed is going to maintain its autonomy, that Trump will either choose not to or not be able to successfully bully Jerome Powell, because it seems like they've already had their standoff and reached an agreement, until March or May when the Fed can pivot. However, again, the Fed's primary point of wanting to give us this hawkish pivot on interest rates, which is the reason the market has turned bearish, not just crypto, but traditional finance as well, is because of the fears of inflation. Well, PPI just came out not 0.2% under analyst expectations this morning, meaning producers are making less for the products they sell. This is a good sign when you are concerned about an overheated economy. This almost ensures, in my opinion, as I have been saying for weeks, that tomorrow's inflation print, which is coming out at approximately 8:30 a.m. on the East Coast, is going to be a good print. It's going to be a low print. CPI coming down, prices getting lower. The only area that I'm anticipating to see an increase in core CPI is in rentals. All right. But we should see year after year CPI come down, which might be quite a bullish catalyst. Either way, I think we're probably going to hit 100K. Most likely tomorrow. If we just bounce bully to 100K, keep in mind that we are consolidating in a tightening pattern. You know what? Let's just talk about what's in front of us. We'll get to that when we're there. We are at the stage where good news is still bad news. Indeed, profit bear. Another analysis that we do as far as the market cycle is, of course, our MVRV ratio, market value to realized value ratio. This has successfully called the peaks of every previous bull market cycle. When we peak above 3, we are nowhere near there. We're at 2.6. So having just pulled back from the same MVRV value that caused the summer doldrums, the summer doldrums. And of course, we kicked off much higher than that. Bitcoin volatility. This is short-term volatility relative to medium-term volatility. So this is 24-hour volatility. This is the ratio of 24-hour volatility to 7-day volatility, and is one of the tools I use to attempt to predict and also get a clear signal of when I should and should not be entering into positions. Very clearly, the red line is, of course, Bitcoin's price overlaid beneath. The blue line is, of course, the ratio of volatility. I've kind of marked out arbitrarily, but just through my back testing, these levels of 0.5 and 0.21 as essentially kind of the highs and the lows. Notice that there can be extreme deviation in either direction, but they're just generally good ballparks. 70 to 80% of the time we do see corrections right around that area, and not corrections as in price going down, corrections in the metric as in the metric going up and now coming down. So obviously high volatility is a good time to begin scaling out of positions. This is exactly where around this area that I began suggesting that people scale out of short positions. And when volatility is very low, conversely, you want to be kind of watching the short-term charts and getting yourself ready to position for a breakout, because there's going to be a very large move coming. Of course, recently we had volatility drop very low in this consolidation area. We plunged very briefly as volatility picked up down below 90,000. Not below 90,000, excuse me, but to 90,000, and have now rebounded. So a nice Darth Maul wick, if you will, but it's just a good tense. Now, volatility is pulling back a little bit, so broadly, I am expecting consolidation and mild continuation. Looking at stablecoin dominance, yesterday was scary, all right? Big wick above our 6% resistance that we've been watching for a while. We do not want to see the daily close above 6%. That is going to be foretelling lower prices in our risk on crypto assets, and it's going to be a definitely not a foreshadowing, but a confirmation of people cashing up in mass and likely a run to the 200 DMA. But daily momentum has turned to the downside now, as long as this metric closes as it is going to be, which I think means we are going to, at the very least, see probably moving into at least the weekend upside. Of course, this all predicated on a positive CPI print. The positive CPI print could be the catalyst that causes us to actually break out of the wedge, you know, hunt for 108,000 Bitcoin, 110,000 Bitcoin. All of that is completely possible. We definitely just want to be watching and trading whatever direction the breakout occurs in at this point, keeping leverage low and just making sure that we're doing tactical trades. All right, because we're not really in a position where the fundamentals nor the higher time frame technicals are really aligning with big swing trades. It's really too indecisive for me to want to be like, hey, let's just put some big head shorts on, don't worry about it. It's also far too indecisive of me to be like, no, yeah, immediate continuation, here we go. I likely think that we're going to chop down for the next 2 to 3 months until the March FOMC or potentially even the May FOMC, and then we start seeing the fundamentals turn, the higher time frame technicals turn again, and move us back into an area where it's like, okay, up only, let's go. 130, 150, 200,000 Bitcoin, let's go. Daily momentum again is turning to the downside. I think we're going to also have that nice catalyst of the CPI print tomorrow, so I am expecting to see higher prices moving into at least the weekend, because that was my original idea anyways, and it's overall playing out pretty good. That we broadly pump into Trump's inauguration. Of course, we kind of de-risked far earlier than I was anticipating in the week of January. But here we are, just back where we are again. Stablecoin plus Bitcoin dominance is nearing overbought conditions, which did cause a big pullback in Bitcoin and stablecoin dominance and a surge in altcoin prices for about a week and a half. This occurred, I don't know, about a week ago. We've basically seen altcoins be decimated again for the last week. But hopefully we have reached a tipping point. We are at the 200 DMA resistance. We are nearly overbought, and daily time transformation is hinting at a cross under, which typically cross unders tend to have follow through. So overall looking pretty good, I think, for altcoins, and we can juxtapose that with, of course, the others chart. This is altcoin price performance relative to Bitcoin. Notice, of course, this was the alt season that we experienced when altcoins were just appreciating rapidly, hitting that long-term diagonal resistance trend line though, but we have pulled back, held about 50% of the previous rally, of course, put in our oversold signals here that caused us to bounce. And here we are again, entering oversold conditions on altcoin price performance, putting in a doji candle at support. So I am expecting, again, altcoins to see, at the very least, a bit of a recovery bounce moving into the weekend. So overall, looking pretty good, I think, for our risk on assets, especially if Bitcoin is going to not completely give up the ghost. Bitcoin does look, as we move to Bitcoin here, of course, let's start off with the weekly time frame. Of course, we do have to just kind of deal with this. This is the primary thing right now. We did have this hawkish pivot from the Fed. So far, Bitcoin has moved down, made it not a lower low yet, but its first lower high. So overall, just consolidating. All right, just consolidating. We have established very, very strong support at 90,000. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, I want to be very clear about this, okay, so let's look at this on the daily. We have clearly established, so what happened yesterday is we swept December's lows, which is exactly what I warned about in Friday's report. We swept December's lows, and now we've rallied all the way back up to 96,000. Now, it's important to understand, look at every time Bitcoin's price comes down to 90,000, it gets getting bought up very greedily. If Bitcoin's price closes, on the other hand, below 90,000, it is not going to vacuum back up the same way that we have seen it happen. It's just not going to happen. Bitcoin's price, if we close below 90,000, I mean, that is a very loud warning sign, and we are going to have a deeper correction. All right, we are going to have a deeper correction. Now, again, my base case is that we experience exactly what we experienced. Similarly, maybe not as long. Starting in March through September of 2024, where we entered into the summer doldrums, notice that we went low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then we kind of established very strong support here at approximately 54,000 before rallying, pulling back, and then breaking out on October 14th. But notice that we had the nice catalyst of the first rate cut the week before that. All right, so very important. The fundamentals need to align with the technicals. The primary challenge that I'm seeing right now for Bitcoin from a technical standpoint is that our weekly, that we're overbought on the weekly, very similar to where we were moving into March of 2024. So even though we're a bit oversold on the daily, that is not aligning properly with where we're at on the weekly. Now, keep in mind that we have before, of course, continued to rally very powerfully in weekly situations where we were overbought. But in this situation right here, where you see a good example of that, we were coming out of a long period of consolidation, basically from March of 2023 into October of 2023. And so this was just a nice orderly breakout. Again, more consolidation, nice orderly breakout. We're in a little bit of a different situation here. So on the bright side, though, I mean, we have been consolidating for a little while now. So, you know, typically these consolidations do tend to last a little bit longer though. But overall, we have a nice weekly hammer candle that's forming. Excuse me. I am hopeful that this can actually rally us back up above 100,000, as I am expecting, particularly moving into Trump's inauguration. But overall, I think the biggest thing that we just need to deal with right now is the fact that we do not have the fundamentals or the higher front time frame technicals really aligning with these kind of big up only trades. So when we're trading right now, I am recommending everybody that's in the Crypto Trading Academy, where I'm publishing my daily signals, where all my ideas, I'm definitely advocating for them to be tactical and strategic with their trades rather than overly enthusiastic, bullish or bearish, right? This is not really the time in my eyes for really big positions, and that's okay. That is part of being a trader. If you guys think that I wake up every single day knowing exactly what to do, well, I do generally know exactly what to do, but there's not always something to do. Because I have my process, I have my screening process, I have my scanning process, I have my trade execution process, and I just basically boringly do the same thing day in and day out. Good idea. By the way, a lot of people think that trading is very exciting. It's not. It's really boring. And the point, if trading is exciting for you, you're likely not that good at it yet. You need to trade to the point where it becomes just a process, right? Like filing your TPS reports. All right. Just a business, right? Just doing your job. Daily time frame. As I said, we have established strong support at approximately 90,000. Nice doji and deviation back up to 96,000. Overall, this looks pretty good. We could anticipate a lower high at around 100,200. So overall, again, I'm just mainly watching big picture things that we want to be watching for here is just basically letting price evolve here, letting us trade within this tightening triangle, this tightening wedge that we're trading in, and just simply trading in the direction of the breakout, whichever occurs, right? There we go. Let's see here. Volatility is not really rising. We do have daily bullish divergence now, very weak daily bullish divergence, but overall daily RSI has turned back up and is back in the bull zone right now. Overall, pretty good. So again, overall, I'd be looking in the short term tactically to be taking profits between 98 and 100,000, 102,000, I would say, if you really want to stretch it. And then we can reposition if we get a kind of breakout signal. Listen, guys, of course, it's exciting to make money, but I'm telling you, when you get to the point where, you know, you make a 4-figure profit, you make a 5-figure profit, and, you know, you're just like, all right, next. That's when, you know, to me, that is a sign of like, oh, hey, you're actually a pretty good trader. You know what I mean? Like, I've just done this too long. It's not exciting anymore. It's just work, man. So that's where we're at on the daily. Like I said, overall looking pretty good, breaking back up into the positive zone. On the 4-hour time frame, we have regained, and we are in a daily bullish trend. On the 4-hour time frame, we have been chopping around. The last time that we have now, interestingly enough and importantly enough, we have now crossed back above the 4-hour guppy EMAs. The last time that we did this was right here. Okay. And both situations coming off of the bottom, the critical thing just to identify here is that, you know, Bitcoin's a momentum asset, right? So I see, you know, all these people, and I'm guilty of it too sometimes, where, you know, we're like, oh, okay, listen, we've broken above the 4-hour guppies. So what we want to do now is buy the next pullback. No, you really don't want to buy the pullback. That's really not how Bitcoin works. Unless you're like thinking very broadly, like, hey, I'm just going to stack positions around 90,000 and that's good. So that's fine. But if you're more thinking of like a single trade, like, hey, I'm just going to buy the pullback and go long. Well, clearly that didn't work for you here very well. You had to sit through a lot of drawdown and you probably got stopped out. The key thing to identify here is that basically when Bitcoin loses the 4-hour moving averages, you know, it's The momentum's gone, man. It's not coming back until price resets, hits a new low, makes people get scared on crypto Twitter and say they're selling all their Bitcoin. I mean, the basic, key thing to watch for here is, looking for dip buying opportunities on the 4-hour time frame. You can use an indicator. I mean, time transformation is probably going to be your best bet. Because it's our most sensitive kind of reversal indicator. It's going to work really well. So here you can see, as opposed to the RSI, this is one of our proprietary indicators. We identify regular bullish divergence here, right? We identify hidden bullish divergence here, identify irregular bullish divergence here, buy signal here, and that's about it. We're pretty good. Also, we could probably try out. Bottom feeder. It's usually pretty good at buying bottoms. Let's see how it's done in the 4-hour time frame. Well, we're waiting. Yeah. So obviously bought the dip on the way down, bought here, bought here, bought here, bought here, and bought here, and then of course bought here as well. So overall pretty good. So either of those, again, they're not all perfect, but this is pretty good, this is pretty good, this is could be better, this is pretty good, and this is obviously great, and this is great. So having yourself a good, and the 4 hours is a good time frame to be looking for these kind of oversold swing positions right now. As you can see, overall the strategy that's been working really well on the 4-hour time frame here since really December 17th, so for the past month, has just been a reversion to the mean and reversal strategy, right? Nice 4-hour swing strategy. Reversion to the mean is really good. Price overbought, not shooting for the top of the range, but just shooting for mid-range. So price, as we can see, is broadly oscillating around the 4-hour 200 SMA. So again, pretty good. You can also just, use RSI as well. Here we get pretty almost oversold. I have my oversold set at 30. You could set yours to maybe 40. All right, tightening range. So you can always adjust your momentum oscillator settings when you identify the volatility is low, your average true range is dropping. So, but just targeting mid-range is good, and just expecting, and again, obviously easy to get excited here, kind of looking for a breakout, but that's what I would kind of be targeting for our next more significant move here on the 4-hour time frame. But again, the key thing here is when Bitcoin loses the 4-hour moving averages, it's not really a buy the dip thing, although I guess broadly it is. But for your trade, it's time to go. It's like a losing trade, right? Because we're going to dip more, right? So you cut your losses and wait for your next buy signal. You can either be entering on these breakouts above the 4-hour guppies. Did not work out very well here. Did work out great here, and this is exactly, we were just here 2 weeks ago, right? And this is the exact signal I told everybody to watch for, right? Enter on the 4-hour, crossing over the guppies. We had not too dissimilar price action again at that time. This to me overall looks like reaccumulation, and I would expect higher prices. But guys, the key thing here for me is just we need to stay above about 94,800. All right, we do not want to see price close below the 4-hour guppies. We want to see this nice transition of power from the bears to the bulls and to continue pushing higher. And the nice thing would be, notice that the last time we broke above the 4-hour guppies, there wasn't a whole lot of exciting price action for a while. And we could potentially just go flat into tomorrow's CPI print. But overall, the 4-hour looks good. It's the only time frame that has a bearish trend. We have regained we of course never lost the weekly or the daily, but we have regained the hourly, the 30-minute, and the 5-minute bullish trend. On the hourly time frame, we of course have regained the hourly bullish trend. We have also regained, pulled back, reclaimed, and retested the hourly 200 SMA. Point of control at 94,275. So really should not see a need to pull back and retest that. Let's see here. Hourly RSI got overbought here at the very top at 3 a.m. And on the 30-minute time frame, we can see overall that price is consolidating with a lower high, lower low pattern. So basically pretty stiff resistance at approximately 96,900 or 97,000. So for the day traders, for those looking kind of for the next entrance, the positions that I would recommend entering on would be a pullback and retest, which has already happened a couple of times, of approximately 95 to 95,500. But again, making sure that you are closing your position if price does then move on to close below those 4-hour guppy EMAs. Or on something like the 30-minute time frame, I would be looking for a close above 97,000. Or again, you can just buy any deviations below VWAP at this point in time, because basically price is just oscillating right around VWAP, and deviations below have been bought up pretty greedily. So this actually looks pretty bullish to me, and I do think we continue to the upside. Looking pretty good. Yeah. I like it. Other things that I wanted to discuss. Let's go look at the footprint chart. All right, so I am seeing a couple of things here. Let's get zoomed out here. Yeah, what was that? No, that was much earlier. So I guess the main things that I'm seeing right now on the 4-hour time frame, filled a ton of large orders to the buy side. There are liquidity voids, and it's a big liquidity void from approximately 98,300 all the way up to 100,431. So I'm not really seeing too much stopping price from running up and filling this gap right here. And key level to hold, according to the footprint chart, would be 94,500. We do have liquidation levels coming in at 97,373, 97,500, 98,000, 98,162 to the upside. The biggest point of liquidations for shorts is probably up here at 105,000. Let's cross-reference that with CoinGlass's liquidation heat map. Let's go to the last week. You know, this is just brutal to see. This is brutal to see, man. I love it. Yes, there is a very, very large liquidity void above 108,000. The biggest you've ever seen. Wine Drinker says, I have a bit of the same feeling as when the Bitcoin ETF was released on January 24th. Somehow I feel that even then it was held down and a candle of the same style came. Indeed. You know, interestingly enough, so the Bitcoin ETFs were released in the first week of January of 2024, but we didn't actually begin pumping until the FOMC at the end of January. where they where they pulled back on raising interest rates. All right, that's exactly what I have in my Bitcoin monetary policy note weekly chart. All right, so Bitcoin ETFs launch, and then here's the week where they pull back on the interest rates. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Okay. Man, doesn't this Ethereum chart just look like shit? You just got to buy it though, man. You just got to buy Ethereum. Let's talk about Ethereum. Ethereum had a big deviation yesterday, obviously. We are back up to 3,200. We have yet to break above the 4-hour guppy EMAs. That's not going to happen until we're above 3,300, in which case we're going to face resistance at 3,489. Overall, this looks pretty good. The last time we had a big dump like this, so Ethereum's basically done a couple of these before. First one over here, we had one candle of sideways, and then we popped back up for a lower high. Big sell-off, big candle. Again, we held the low, popped up, held the low, rallied. So, boom. I would be expecting, at the very least, a rally up to 3,500 over the next week on Ethereum. Similarly for Doge chart looks almost identical. I'd be expecting at least a rally to 200 over the next week. XRP, on the other hand, is my my big bag right now. As you guys know, we did break above the diagonal trend line right here after consolidating and holding the daily guppies. So I've been, I don't know, pivoted back in XRP like a couple weeks ago. It is like 20%, 25% of my portfolio right now. I don't got anything negative to say about XRP. Let's go, XRP. Dogecoin. Dogecoin daily actually looks pretty good. Maybe we can actually get a higher high on Dogecoin this time. But basically right now, resistance is at 40 cents, 38, no, actually 39 cents is the resistance on Dogecoin. I stopped calling XRP ZERP. Oh, dude, it's not, who did I see, like, I can't remember if it was Peter Brandt. But it was one of those, you know, bigger traditional finance TA guys. I think it was Peter Brandt on crypto Twitter. Somebody put out, you know, a collage of their tweets, and it was like 2021, you know, XRP is the worst cryptocurrency ever. 2022, I can't believe anybody would buy XRP. This chart's garbage. 2023, XRP absolute dog trash. And then 2024, it's like XRP leading the pack. What a transition we go through. Nah, just reading the tea leaves. Doge actually looks pretty good. We do need to hold 34.5 cents on any pullbacks. Otherwise, we're just going to drop back down to 33 cents. All right. You're basically looking at my portfolio right now. How are our Solana AI coins doing? Let's see here. Yes, no error, still looking pretty good, up pretty bigly from when we called it down here. Pilzumi up pretty bigly. Spore we cycled out of, big pullback on Spore. looking for price stabilization first. ENA probably is going to bounce back pretty hard here. Zerbro, we cycled out of, we sold up here. Zerbro is very, very interesting. This is like one of the most bearish moves I've seen in all crypto though in recent memory, but overall I'd like to see Zerbro basically stabilize at about 30 cents, and then I'd look for it to push back to 70 cents. Olos, you know, I'm just kind of committed to this one, you know what I mean, guys? Did my fundamental research. It looks good. Dogecoin looks like it has reclaimed 150, $160 million market capitalization, potentially marking this dip below 150 as the lows. We shall see. And nothing all the way back down to its kind of consolidation area. I'm basically expecting this one, nothing. Zerbro, not Spore yet. It's too soon. But both nothing and Zerbro look like they're in good accumulation areas. Yes, no, error. I don't know. You can choose or choose not to take profit. That's on you. Pilzumi, again, looks like it's in a big reaccumulation zone, and it does continue to make higher lows. So kind of feels like people are getting ready. Radium looks really good. Jito looks good for a bounce here. Hedera hash graph is looking like XRP. Aave looks good, but kind of weak. You guys know I'm very bullish on Phantom. Hyperliquid. Not sure. Again, if we go back to our fundamental analysis, does look like we're in a good area to expect a reversal in meme or in all altcoins, excuse me, relative to Bitcoin's price performance. But again, just guys, the tea leaves at this point in time are far from unclear. So can we expect, like, you know, a bounce moving into the weekend? Yes. Are we up only? Unfortunately, we're just not. We're not really up only yet. So just being pretty tactical in everything that we do. All right. All right, we're gonna go through these. Were the coins I called out for the crypto trading group this morning. Let's go take a look at how they perform, shall we? AIXBT, Cal Prime, CTX, Liquidity, Check, Cetus, Comp, and Grass. Start with AIXBT. Again, that alpha report came out. This was 5 hours ago. Let's see here. So, which would have been, what is 5 hours ago now? 10? Right here. All right, AIXBT has not done much. Cow has not done much since I called it right here. And like, calling is a strong word. Prime, Echelon Prime on Coinbase. Echelon Prime is down. CTX. Again, largely just moving sideways. Liquidity pretty much just sideways. Check Cetus. Let's see here. Checks is up. Cetus is sideways. Comp and grass. Comp also sideways. And grass also sideways. So largely a lot of the, almost all, actually all of them, all of the breakout signals haven't really moved a lot yet. Looks like the altcoins are consolidating a little bit. What about our strong buy signals on the 1 hour time frame? We had Y2K. Is this it? No. There we go. All right. Y2K.com on Solana moving sideways. Hopcat on Radium. Here it is. Yep. Right here at 10 a.m. Of about 12% since the call. And Top Hat on Radium. Down about 5% since the call and the breakout signal. So not the biggest, and we didn't get any altcoin oversold signals today. So everything was pumping pretty highly. So not the most gleaming recommendation, I guess, for the Crypto Trading Academy today, but overall, we'll see how these things play out over the next couple of days. And traditional markets closed. Oh yeah, isn't is like tomorrow? I thought it was, didn't they already do it? Like that day of remembrance for Jimmy Carter? Is that what we're talking about? Gold has reclaimed, excuse me, the daily bullish trend, looking pretty decent. Silver, not quite yet, but I am bullish both on gold and silver. UNG is pushed back up to its highs of about 1848. Very, very long on UNG. Now, listen, I am expecting oil futures. I am expecting Brent. I probably should just be tracking Brent. But I need to take the trade on futures. I am expecting oil futures to go down, but Biden is really messing with my oil trade. Oh, okay. Looking at the SPY, we talked about this wedge pattern that we have broken down from and back tested and rejected from. So likely, I am expecting probably equities to come down here and do a scare towards the 200 SMA, since we seem to be catching up and consolidating. And the same on the NASDAQ. Consolidation broke down below support. Seem to be back testing and rejecting right now. Yeah, MicroStrategy looks like it wants to go a little bit lower. So does Coinbase. So does Nvidia, unfortunately. Tesla and Palantir. Vistra looking good, pretty new high. DJT is the only one I told you guys by the breakout. Look, there goes DJT to the upside, right? That nice wedge consolidation, break to the upside. I try and buy DJT probably around 37 and set stop at 33.50. But probably DJT runs up to $50 moving into next week. It's probably one of the easiest trades right now on the table. Not gonna lie. That's about all I got. Let's go to Twitter. Yuga Labs closes deal to sell CryptoPunk's IP to serial entrepreneur Kevin Rose. Florida Bitcoin reserve update. The deal is sealed. It is happening. Even Kraken official saying big if true. So that's huge if true. Yeah, this one's pretty bad. But FDIC whistleblowers. Okay. Among the content, so some big whistleblowing just came out on the FDIC. And among the content and recordings, FDIC senior managers laughed at crypto supporters' attempts to hold them accountable online, suggesting they'd never be organized enough to hold FDIC Gov accountable, especially with the FDIC's disinformation campaign. The FDIC specifically discussed how they'd win, as they have a dedicated media relations team that pays more than most individuals make. One employee bragged that his annual salary is probably more than Nick Carter makes in a decade. Nick is not the only target, but we feel secure disclosing his name. They intentionally mislabel documents or include mixed language that allow for Freedom of Information Act suppression. Discussions around including FDIC attorneys in meetings to meet the minimum standard to claim attorney-client exemptions on topics that might be targeted for Freedom of Information Act. And we're not even, you know what? I don't want to get demonetized, but you guys can go read it yourself. You guys can go read that one yourself. Apparently a lot of sexual allegations and assaults. Cracking down on journalism, how to stop sources from corresponding with journalists by making an example out of employees publicly within the agency, and then spreading the truth via rumors that conversations, reporting on how to stop it. So pretty scammy stuff. And then basically Not So Fast, who I learned a lot about mining from. Not obviously, I don't think he even knows who I am, but reading his tweets for a long time. But he sums up how I feel about this. This is so bad it boils my blood. We do not hate the entrenched, unelected regulator class enough. We really don't. We don't like it. This is it. Oh no, this is similar, but vibes. Market feels exactly like January 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021. Hopefully I can find that. Yeah, here we go. $3 XRP incoming. All right. Yeah, get yourself a heat pump. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, my timeline is just awash. Like, oh my god, the timeline is overflowing with nothing but California wildfires, Trump's a felon, haha, and Pete Hegseth. From Adam Back, Trump told me he owns a significant amount of Bitcoin. Not going to disclose the number. He had a significant position even at that time, and price has gone up a lot since. It's about alignment. What's good for Bitcoin is good for all of us. Said David Bailey at Michael Saylor's 100K watch party. Guys, if this is you, right, listen, there goes 90K. This feels like the big one. I'm bullish Bitcoin later in 2025, but right now I need to stay safe. Step 1, stop day trading BTC. Step 2, touch grass, go for a walk. Step 3, repeat step 1. Should I buy back in at 92? Fuck, should I buy back in at 94? Oh man, these things are not the same. Oh, this is bad. What do you got to say, Bitcoin? There comes a time when you stop partying, you stop the video games, you stop the sports watching, you stop the drinking, you stop the bullshit spending. You buckle down, lock in, study, and buy Bitcoin. That is when your life will change. It's a great time, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you. What is the best indicator for trend direction? Please tell me. Burma bands are the best. A hunch? I like this. I like hunches. Price action, time, price. Yep. 100% the MACD. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. Believe in higher, send it up. I don't think I really had anything. What's this one that I had? No, I was just gonna read that. That's about all I got, guys. That's about all I got. You know, like I said, part of good trading is just knowing when the cards are on in your favor. I say this literally as somebody who has my entire portfolio at risk right now. I have a very large position in Anon. I have a very large position in XRP. I have a very large position in Blockstack. Yep. But to be fair, took my trades, I took my risk, and my thesis is playing out. So there's not too much there that I'm, there's nothing really that I'm holding that I'm unhappy with. I'm pretty happy with the setup that I have going on. I know where my risk limits are. Essentially, yeah, hey, Anon. This one. I was talking about it on stream. I got in at $11. Not this one. This is my meme coin that I'm holding 60% underwater. But you know, this one, hey, Anon. This coin right here. I bought at 11. We're at 19 now. Life's good. It's probably going to come back down to 11 now. And I don't actually have it on base. I have it on Sonic. So my bigger position, my two big positions in high cap were Phantom and XRP. And I sent all my Phantom off the exchange into my Phantom wallet, and then I upgraded it to Sonic, to S, on the new Sonic blockchain, and then I aped Anon on Sonic. I also have, I guess I haven't really checked on it. Yeah, this one's not doing too great. Yoko. And yeah, those were really the only other ones that I was watching. WagMe, obviously, is probably a good pick on Sonic. And Yoko is a good reminder that just because something is low market capitalization doesn't really mean anything. You want to buy good stuff. Alex, thank you. I appreciate your sage advice. I am just about to bounce out, but Alex says sold half my Anon today. 5x, good man. I'm still a bit on the fence about this bounce over. Yeah, and you should be. Everyone should be on the fence about this bounce. The signs do look like we should have pretty clear skies into the weekend, especially if we get a positive CPI print tomorrow. But I'm completely not surprised if good news is bad news. We get a great CPI print tomorrow and market drops out the bottom. Dumped AIXBT, nice pump today. Yeah, AIXBT was good today. So market's either pumping up to de-risk before a leg lower or the beginning of a nice 3 to 5 day recovery pump. I like your style. I like your style, yes, to crypto. I do. I do like it. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, the bell doth cometh for us all. For whom does the bell toll? It tolls for you. We will be back tomorrow. And I will be on time tomorrow. All right? Promise. Ladies and gentlemen who are in the Crypto Trading Academy, make sure to RSVP for tomorrow's community mentoring session. We're going to be talking about a lot. And other than that, that's about it. Make sure to avail yourself of all of the links in the description. Sign up for the Crypto Alpha Report to get those daily insights delivered Monday through Friday into your inbox. Data-driven research to keep you armed and dangerous. If you found value in today's content, you can help us out for absolutely no pennies whatsoever. Please like, subscribe, share this video around on the interwebs to your friends, your family, people you don't even like. We will see you guys tomorrow. Trade safely, be awesome to one another, and I got nothing. Bye.